Guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today we have no guest, but I always have my brother with me, and we just lack to coordinate us actually like being in the same place and actually doing a podcast episode. But it's always exciting because like me and Gio always have like good ass conversations. I feel like in the car. Just that we can never record them. Like it being in this setting is just like it puts us like it puts some pressure kind of to the conversation because you kind of limit yourself. Like when we talk like together, we like I guess we don't have to explain our ideas to no one but each other. So if I kind of like lose track of what I'm saying, you're like, but wait, like you lost me there, you know, like
yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's a little hard to transition from being in a natural setting to trying to force it to be natural. You know?
Yeah. But I mean, every single time we try to do conversation, you know, we try to be like real about most of what we're saying. So again, it, even if it's a controlled setting, where we have cameras, we have lights, like we always try to do the same thing.
True.
So, I guess we'll talk about a little bit. Let's see. We'll touch some subjects on real estate. We'll talk some subjects on my brother getting injured because he never talked about his injury and kind of how I feel about it, and kind of I like the way that he takes care of himself. That's what I got to say, right? Like I think the way that you think or how you perceive things is a lot colder than the way that I perceive things. Like I really run based off my emotions. I'm just aware of that.
Okay.
Like I could be very impulsive. But you, on the contrary, like, okay, can you explain to the crowd, to the people what happened?
Okay, when I hurt myself. So right now it's September. I got hurt February. I think it was 18th. I still remember. It was a Sunday.
Dang.
We were playing at a place called Strikers. We used to go three times a week. You know, sometimes more.
Yeah.
Before then, I was running a lot. Almost every day, I would do like 4 miles.
Yeah.
For an hour.
But why were you running 4 miles?
Because supposedly, you know, when I did research, when you run at a steady pace that you can talk for a long period of time, it's better for you than to, sprint for short periods of time, I guess.
And I think sprinting for short periods of time, you not only take fat with you, but you take muscle with you. So,
yeah, I mean, as far as like the muscle side, I'm not too sure, but you know, losing weight supposedly.
That's why a lot of like bodybuilders do like the Stairmaster, because it just kind of like it gets them to the point where they start burning fat, but not really, and like at a steady pace also starts training your heart, like so you're not like under an extreme amount of pressure.
Right. So continue with the story. That day we went to go play at Strikers, and I think we had just started. It was like 5 minutes into the game, 10 minutes into the game. And long story short, I ran past the player, I guess, with the ball. And then from behind, he tried to go for the ball, I guess. Or he kind of kicked me on the outside of the knee towards the inside. And I fell. I'm not sure if it was from him hitting me that my knee kind of like popped, or it was the way that I fell, that like I felt like 2 pops in my knee.
Yeah.
And then right after that, I really couldn't feel my knee. Like I couldn't feel it. It felt like I couldn't feel it, you know, like
was it like a numb feeling, or?
Yeah, it was kind of like a numbing feeling. Like right after it happened, right after the impact, when I was on the floor, I felt like I couldn't get up. The first thing I tried to do was try to get up. Okay. But I kind of didn't have like the strength. Like I felt like my knee wasn't there, if that makes sense. And so I kind of like limped off.
And you know, did you immediately start like researching then, like what happened to you? Like what was the first thought after, like, because like to explain it, Strikers, it's kind of like it's like you rent the fields and there's 12 positions, and so we had a substitute, Gio, and so he stood outside, kind of like the fence. Like,
Yeah.
what was like your thought outside the fence?
I don't know. Outside the fence, I was like, I honestly didn't think it was that bad, just because prior to then I had no information on how the knee worked and what components make up the knee, I guess. So me hearing the pops, I was like, well, it's nothing too major, right?
Prior to that, you didn't have any like major knee pain, right?
Not really. I mean, maybe after running, I would be a little sore maybe the next day or something like that.
Yeah.
Or after running for 2 weeks straight, my knees would like ache a little bit. So I don't know if that also has to do with like me hurting myself. That prior to that, I was running like every day and like I wasn't really resting, except on the weekends, obviously, right? But I don't know if maybe I was pushing my knees too much, relative to my body weight, I guess. I don't know if that has to do with it, but yeah, I mean, right after that, I was like, well, I don't think it's too much of a problem, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'm gonna see how I feel tomorrow. And when I got home, it was like swelling up right here, like on the side of the knee, like right between the knee, I guess, the kneecap. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just put ice on it. I'm gonna elevate the knee, and wait till tomorrow. And the next day, I woke up. I wanted to say like positive, but I tried to like put weight on it and stuff, and it hurt like real bad.
And just to kind of like be transparent here, I just thought you were being negative, or like, I'm fast to think, you're being dramatic.
Yeah, no, I get it. Honestly, I can do some self-reflection and say that sometimes maybe, yeah, I overreact, but a lot of the times it's just like what I'm feeling,
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, man.
And I like that because like whether it's good or bad, you're gonna say how you feel,
Yeah.
So I think that's good too.
Yeah, so I was like, man, I really can't walk on it. I can't put weight on it. And I remember your reaction, like, oh, like it's fine, like it's probably nothing, major.
Like I've had, like it's because I think I'm always quick to think like it's like in my experience, like that's nothing. Like you get what I mean. Whenever you're a whole, what you're going through might be completely different, and my way might not be completely right.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, again, to be transparent, it was like, you're exaggerating.
Yeah, like lucky. You thought I was being a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know when you got to crutches, but I was like, okay, like that's when I kind of like started also to realize, okay, like,
yeah, this shit's
damn,
serious.
like you really feel a lot of pain to where you can't even put pressure on that foot, And to me, like things like that start worrying me because the more, let's say not that I don't believe in medicine, not that I don't believe in curing, but I'm always quick to think that if you don't use it, you lose it. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
So you're gonna lose a lot of of the muscle you've built up, a lot of the flexibility you've built up in that foot if you don't use it. True. And to me, when I was like in your crutches, I was like, I just kind of bear through the pain and use it instead. But that wasn't necessarily the best move,
Yeah, because I was also afraid to use it too much when I wasn't supposed to, and then, have long-term effects. So I mean, that's my point of view, I guess. I get yours too. Like if you don't use it, yeah, that muscle's gonna get stiff or whatever, happens to muscles. But I think I waited too long to go to PT, physical therapy.
How long did you wait?
I waited maybe like a week or something like that. And so I was just like that on crutches. I was like, oh, it'll get better.
Yeah.
And during that time that I waited to go to PT, like I did my own research on Google. I was being my own Google doctor, I guess.
Yeah. No, and you're pretty good at that. Like I think that whenever you're interested in something, you can become obsessed over it, and like whether that's clothes or whether that's like kind of like styles or whatever you're interested in, you go deep into it. So
yeah, I feel like it's a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing. That I guess I don't know if it's called an obsessive personality, something like that, where I don't know, something something new comes out, like you want to get like every single color, and like you get obsessed with that thing. Yeah, but anyways, I did my own research and stuff, and I soon realized that the pops that I heard in my knee were definitely like a really bad thing, because like as I'll say again, when I fell, I don't know if it was on impact when they hit me. Like it happened all so fast, but I felt two pops in my knee. Like you could feel it. I don't know if it was feeling it or hearing it, but like it was there.
That's
like
crazy.
Two pops in your knee, and supposedly when you hear pops in your knee, it's like one of your ligaments. And so it could be, I think it's like the LCL, the MCL, and then inside is the ACL. I forgot what the other one is called.
Dang,
but
so many L's.
Yeah, but a lot of L's. And I mean, it all stands for ligaments.
Oh, okay.
The something ligament. They're all ligaments. But yeah, supposedly it's your ACL, and that's one of the most common things that I had always heard about. But like I never really like paid attention to it because it never happened to me.
And you hear it a lot because in sports, especially like in any type of like running sports, whether that's football, baseball, that's soccer, like it's very common. Like, and it kind of sucks because like those injuries also prevent you an athlete from reaching their peak, because I mean after an ACL surgery they're just not the same. Like,
yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. It just really depends on the situation, because I've seen athletes, like, professional ones, where they have an ACL injury, they get to surgery, and then they do the physical therapy, and they come back, and they get to the same level, I feel like. I'll take an example. I think, this is from what I've heard, a defender from Liverpool, Virgil van Dijk, he hurt his ACL, I think, a few seasons back. And I don't know if he had the surgery, but I think he did. And he came back as good as ever.
Oh, okay. I mean,
so I guess there's the situations, but they always tell you that it's like 50-50. It could fix the issue, but it could not at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did the physical therapy for a while, and it's funny because I see memes now that's like, when they say that the next thing on the program is for you to run, and then you still have instability, you still have knee pain, you still have all these things, right? Because I think the recovery, they try to follow like the same, like I think it's called cookie cutter, they call it, program for every single injury. And I guess it just depends on your own situation,
And it's funny because how you were saying the other day, practices are just like if you take the literal word, it's practice. Like they're practicing on you what they think could work.
Yeah.
But not everyone's gonna receive it the same.
Right.
And when I saw you go through physical therapy, it's like I didn't consider all those things. And like you said, they're giving you the same program they're giving everyone. Like, how do they know that's gonna work on you? Like, because whenever you were telling me that they put you like in this like gravity ball to where they were putting 50% of your weight, 75% of your weight.
Yeah.
But like you didn't seem like you were like getting your strength back in your knee. It was just kind of like
they were making it easier for you.
Like, hey, you're gonna run and we're gonna see how it goes, like that's all.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what a practice is if you think about it, and that's the same thing. And I think it's mainly like doctor stuff, right?
Like practitioners.
Yeah, practitioners. Yeah. They call it practices, and it's funny, right? Because it's just literally like a practice. It's not like factual yet until like it happens,
Until it happens, yeah.
So,
but after physical therapy, I think you went to a few doctors too, because like, so did physical therapy help you, or?
I would say physical therapy did help me. I can't say that it didn't help.
Okay.
But honestly, I think it was just like the consistency or the routine of putting my knee through those movements, because physical therapy, they would, like, you would have to do it, like you had like, how do you call it? Like you had to do it,
like a workout plan.
Yeah. It was like you go there and you had to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like you go there and you had the obligation to do it. Because if I was telling myself like, hey, I'm gonna do it at home, like I probably wouldn't take the exact hour.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
to
Yeah,
do
and
it
it was
at home.
exactly an hour.
Yeah, and it was exactly an hour. You would go in, you would do the warm up, and then she would give you the workouts for the day, and then you would have to do them. She would watch you, do them. So I guess it really helped a lot because I showed up in crutches, and I came out like, walking like normal again. I guess I even ran on the treadmill, for a period of time.
Yeah, which at this point you still don't do.
Yeah, like I still don't do just because. I don't know if I'm scared or because I see my knee swell up still every once in a while. I just don't want to like push it over the edge.
I mean, it's because like I think that again, I take my experience. Like I'm very biased because it's like only my experience.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've even talked to like therapists that your brain kind of like rewires yourself whenever you have an injury.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just like limited in your mind. And then therefore in the physical part of your bodies, you're also going to be limited because you're like the fear is always going to like be in the background. Lingering. Yeah. And so that, like that's what I always try to make you aware. Like, hey, like don't be scared or if you're afraid, like, try to control that fear because like, don't let that hold you back, But, I'm glad physical therapy helped, but then you started looking at like that's when I started like I was like, please don't get surgery, like not because I don't believe in medicine, but just because you don't come back the same. Like I guess in our case, like since we don't have all the resources and all the doctors like good athletes do, normal people don't have those type of resources to like get them to the top tier level because. Right. I would imagine it's nutrition, it's cold showers, it's hot saunas.
Yeah, there's like recovery plans, there's nutritional stuff that goes into it. And like I said, like I can't compare myself to an athlete. Like for example, Virgil, I'm like I can't put myself in his position because he's like an investment for a company. It's in their best interest to get him back to the peak. Yeah. Nobody cares if I get back to my best, I guess, so.
Only yourself.
The only thing they care about is, getting some funds from my pocket.
And I remember I started like kind of having arguments with you in regards to you going to doctors because what did the doctors tell you?
So I went to like a knee specialist, like a sports doctor medicine.
After physical therapy.
Yeah, after physical therapy because I noticed that my knee just wasn't getting better, or like it was getting better, I guess. Like, I could run, but I still had like pain or what I know now called instability. It's like the main thing in your knee is like stability. That's what you want in your knee. And like having instability, like it's not a good thing in your knee.
Because then what?
Supposedly it like eats at your I forgot what it's called. I think cartilage in your knee. Like if your bones aren't like attached well, like it can eat at your cartilage over time.
The instability can cause like wear in more places than other places.
Yeah, exactly. So the ACL I think it holds it from going. I don't know if it's front or back. It's because there's two ligaments in the knee, the ACL and then the other one underneath. Mm-hmm. The ACL is the most common one. I'm not sure if it holds your knee, like the bottom part of your like leg from going forward or back, but it's one of those. One of them holds it from going back and one of them holds it from going forward.
Ligaments move blood too, right?
I'm not sure. Like I just learned about the ligaments and how they move and how they're supposed to work, but I'm not sure like too in depth on it. On the subject.
But then what did the doctors tell you? Because that's kind of what we were arguing about. Because I'm like, Gio, you're being dramatic, like, because you were like, the doctor told me it's an ACL tear, or like they ahorita lo vas a explicar.
Yeah.
But they're like ACL. I'm like, Gio, if that was the case, you wouldn't even be able to put any weight on it, like.
Yeah. So upon doing more research, even if you do tear your ACL, I think you are able to walk.
That's crazy.
And like you could even like run, I think.
That's crazy.
But like the instability is like what's the important thing there.
Oh, like long term you're gonna be.
Yeah, like long term you're gonna suffer. I remember the doctor telling me, if you're active and stuff, the ACL is gonna be a major thing that you're gonna have to worry about. She's like, but if you're a couch potato, She's like, it doesn't even matter, honestly, if you don't want to do the surgery.
Wow, but the fact that people opt in to be couch potatoes, like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I mean, it's a worry for me, right? Because my whole life, I've been worried about weight and stuff, right?
Mhm.
So just being active and like running was kind of like my activity for exercise.
No, and you were doing good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
with how consistent you were dropping. I would say at least a pound every week. Just because you were consistent.
Yeah, yeah. And so, just I did that for a few months, and then out of nowhere, it's like, you can't do that anymore.
But it's funny. Maybe because you had not done that before. Was it because you kind of like built up pressure, and then it just was supposed to happen? Like,
I really don't know, but upon going to more doctor's visits, I remember that after the first time that I went to the knee specialist, she recommended an MRI. And the MRI, they put you into this like it's like a
tunnel.
like a machine. Yeah, it's like a big machine, and like it's a tunnel, and there's a bed that comes out, and then they put you on there, and they like slide you in with your head sticking out. You can like look in there, but it's like a tunnel thing, and you're in there for like 10 minutes maybe. They make you sit still.
It scanned your whole body.
Yeah, like I
Or
mean,
did it
nothing
just-
nothing really moves in there, but there's like things going on obviously on the inside, and you can hear the machine working. And I remember, I think I had to wait like 3 business days or something like that, 4 business days, and then she called me, and I remember she said, "Well," she's like, "you have a meniscus tear." Meniscus is like something like right here. It cushions like the joints in the knee, or like the bones in your knee, I guess. The top part and the bottom part.
Yeah.
It cushions that, and I had tears in my meniscus, and I remember her telling me that she couldn't confirm whether I had torn my ACL or like whether I hadn't torn my ACL. That's what she told me, because I had waited so long or something like that my body just, she said it starts what's the word, cocooning, I guess, like a butterfly. Like it yeah, cocoons, I guess, like there's like
it builds a shell around it.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But then, like, again, I feel like you would take those news and be like,
yeah, and like it's so funny, right? Because immediately after that, you're like, oh, well, I do feel it right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's just your mind playing tricks on you.
I think the mind is a super strong thing. So that's why, like, I think that not that I try to be pessimistic about medicine, but it's just kind of like, hey, kind of like take it little by little, because those type of news, like, again, it's funny that you said like, oh, I do kind of feel it right there. When before it was kind of like, when you thought it was kind of like, oh, I feel it right here on the left side.
Yeah, like I could guarantee you, like that I felt the pain on the left side, but then after you hear that, you're like, well, I do kind of feel it on the inside,
Yeah.
And I think that's just your mind, I guess. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to explain
But then
it.
again, being how you are, how did you take that? Because I was like, dude, like, I don't like I believe you, but don't do anything like drastic.
Yeah, and then I remember not too long after that, you had sent me a video of like a surgeon or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like a surgeon video. It's like a 45-minute video of this guy just kind of talking on the side of a mountain. He's like in nature.
He blew up because of that video.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? And like his camera's like right in his face, and he was just saying about how he was a doctor and how
he was a spine surgeon, I think. And
yeah, spine surgeon. And basically how he was like firsthand witnessing how medicine in America works, and how, his idea originally was to one day be able to put what was it, like mechanical body parts, or make mechanical body parts work with the human body, so they could work as one. But as he grew and he like saw, what happened firsthand, he knew that it was never gonna happen because the body always rejects what isn't like
Dude,
natural.
that to me, that concept is so cool because like the body knows you're putting foreign items into it, so therefore it's not gonna accept it. Like he was saying, like based off my experience, it's never gonna work because the body's always gonna know, like the body's always gonna react to it, and it's gonna attack it. It's not gonna accept it like the way that we want to. And it's funny that I found that video because I'm like, okay, I think at that time, since you were going to so many doctors, you were like, oh, like or no, not that I was complaining about the price, but I was like, hey Gio, like that's gonna be expensive, right? Like how much was just the knee consultation and MRI? You spent like $1,500 and it was only like tests.
I think the knee specialist was like 300, and then the MRI was 700, and that was cheap. So that's cheap for an MRI. And then right after that, I had another consultation because you remember how she told me that she couldn't confirm whether I had torn it or hadn't.
So you want a second opinion? Yeah.
So she told me that she was gonna send me to a surgeon, like a like a sports surgeon they call it, or something like that. And that was gonna be like 400, and like I knew he was just gonna like run tests on my knee or whatever.
And did you go?
No, I didn't.
No,
I was like, man, they're just gonna keep taking my money. I don't think I'm gonna go this route, like not the surgery route. And I guess that was like another hard decision that I had to make, I guess.
So when I sent you that video, because again, I sent you that video, I think that we always have contrary ideas, but I always am gonna try to look out for you because at the time you were like so persistent, like, no, I'm gonna get surgery because that long term it's gonna benefit me. If I let it like just go right now, long term it's gonna affect me.
I mean, I don't think I was so set on getting surgery, but I was just like, I guess they were starting to convince me that surgery was like the only way to go about it. And
in that video, I don't remember his name. It's like an Asian guy.
I'm not sure.
He was like, my goal was to help people. He's like, but surgeries, you just never know with them. Sometimes people get worse than they were before the surgery, and that to me is very impactful because how is our modern medicine going to make us more ill after it's supposed to get us better?
I guess it goes into the same thing with practice, it could get better, I guess, but like you just never know because again, it's a practice. It's something that they have to do over and over to get right, and sometimes even then it's not perfect.
So thank you. I think his name is Doobie or something like that.
I'm not sure. We could actually link the video, in the comment section or the title.
Dude, I like it. It's just a peaceful video. It's just him talking his experience. He was making a lot of money. He's like, now I'm out here in the mountains, with my dog because I want him to live a fulfilling life too. He started taking into consideration his dog. I started feeling bad because I'm like, man, like Adis actually should go on a hike, just that.
But he can't, or we don't usually take him.
I mean, he lives and has enough space, but obviously, like, dogs get excited with water, terrains, and stuff like that. So you start kind of like thinking about it too for his life.
Yeah. Another aspect of the video though that he went into that I got a lot out of is that he was explaining how some of the patients would get better before they did whatever spine surgery they had to get done.
Yeah.
He started talking about he's like, one thing that I found mysterious, I guess, or like it was like an anomaly that would happen, is that sometimes some patients like 3 months before a few weeks before their spine surgery that they had already scheduled, they would call the doctor like, hey, do I still have to get surgery even if I'm not in pain no more? And he would be like, well, no, I guess not. If you're not in pain anymore, I guess we don't have to do the surgery. And he would question those patients. He would ask them like, he would just start asking them questions. He was like, I want to figure out what it is. Because even to him, it was weird. He would say that the patients that would be in the worst conditions, that absolutely needed to get surgery a few months ago, suddenly just didn't need it anymore. And then that was like, well, how does that happen, And like, it's so cool that he explained it, how he would question those patients like, how's your life at home? Do you have friends? What do you eat? What do you, what's your sleep schedule like, and all these things. And then, long story short, he basically said that people who hang out with people that love them, when you get enough sleep, when you eat a lot of vegetables, he's like, this isn't a vegan rant. He's like, I'm not telling you to not eat meat anymore.
Yeah. He's
like, but this is what I saw, or this is what people told me. When you would limit the amount of, meat that you would eat, and so I started, thinking like, wow, I think, the body is amazing. It's like, it's perfect. It could heal itself from many things. And I guess to the science people, it might sound, dumb, I guess. They're like, it's crazy to think, that like the body can heal by itself. But I guess I started doing my own research like right after that on how I could fix my knee by going, I guess, the traditional route.
And that's kind of what I wanted for you too, because I'm like, it's very invasive whenever you get into surgery, or it becomes very expensive fast. Which again, not that we can't pay it, or I don't want you to pay it, but I don't want you to waste that much money and then you not really get the results that you really want.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? Because you also have a friend that did have a ACL surgery, and he says he's never been the same.
Yeah, I guess that was one of the major factors in my decision, just seeing it firsthand, because this guy was really good. He would play soccer, and like his whole life was about soccer, or like ever since I've known him, he's been about soccer. And then, one injury, you're one surgery away from just not playing ever, And so upon his recommendations, and amongst other things, I decided, I guess, not to go the surgery route.
But then afterwards, after the doctors told you that, you kind of started getting into cycling. Why did you choose that? And even now, I think that since you have looked into it a lot, like now you've found your solution, kind of like physical therapy, but you're doing it of someone like you could say like an influencer, right? Like a Instagram influencer's recommendation that,
yeah,
dude, what he did the other day was pretty cool. He jumped off the platform and he fell on his tippy toes and he just bent back completely. I was like, that is crazy, like, strength.
No, even just seeing that video hurts my knees, But I guess I am doing part of that just, because I feel like it could work for me, or I'm giving it a try, because I don't think it would hurt, to stick to the plan. But obviously you have to, put in the work, even though it sucks, to do it long term. And then you really have to be patient with it, because I remember them telling me that I think like a ligament takes like up to a year for it to feel like completely normal.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, even if it's like just a tear, or like, a minimal tear, I guess. Well, I guess minimal tears, take shorter times to heal, but like a ligament can take up to a year for it to feel back normal. Upon my research though, even on YouTube, you find physical therapists that say that you can heal an ACL without surgery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's this doctor. I'm not sure what his name is, but I think he's based in Texas.
Can you look him up right now?
Yeah.
Try to look him up right now.
Let me see.
Because I feel like there's a lot of the internet, as much as it does, it makes a bad impact. It just really depends on how you use it, because all this free information of like how to repair your knee, you wouldn't have been able to find years ago.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't have.
But now it's just like readily available to you. So if you take advantage of it, it could really like benefit you.
Um, what's his name? It's a doctor in Texas. Am I not subscribed to his channel? Oh, I found a video. Oh, the channel's name is El Paso Manual Physical Therapy.
Oh, so it's still physical therapy.
Yeah, it's a physical therapist. I think he goes. Yeah, he just goes by El Paso Manual Physical Therapy on YouTube. And like you go through his videos, and he goes through a lot of exercises that you can do when you hurt your meniscus, you tear your ACL, things like that. And he recommends vitamins to take, and like there's just like a long program that you could even pay for, I think, where he goes through like a routine that can supposedly heal the ACL without surgery. You know, and I've gone that route, I guess, where I'm trying to put myself through, I guess, a combination of physical therapy, like his workouts, and then this guy that I found on Instagram where he does all these crazy jumps and stuff, and he bends his knees in ways that maybe I haven't been able to before.
Yeah.
But I guess I just want to do it for my long-term health.
And then plus sobadores, because that's a whole other realm of therapy.
Yeah, so I guess the traditional Mexican route. I don't know if it's just Mexican. I'm pretty sure, other other cultures do it as well, not just the Mexican culture. But yeah, traditional Mexican, what would you call it? Like
remedies,
like massage therapists, or like they call them hueseros even.
Hueseros, yeah. They're kind of like unlicensed chiropractors, but they also it's crazy that they also know how to feel like muscle muscle ties, like muscle knots, like like whenever again we went to Erasmo. It was like he was pulling out like knots out of like nowhere, and you could feel them inside your body. It's like
you could feel as he would like dissolve it almost, like out of your neck. The most recent time that I went, excuse me, I'm a little sick right now. He would do it in your arm too. Here, he did it in my arm, and he would like touch something here and start pushing from up here.
I think that's stress, even like.
Yeah, I really don't know what it is, but yeah, I guess the sobadores too. You go that route. I went to him, I think the first time like almost a month ago.
And you had never gone to a sobador?
No, I hadn't. It had already been like 6 months.
Yeah.
Because over the course of time, I went through physical therapy and all that.
Yeah, it just kept on like evolving. Like, okay, what else can I do?
Yeah, what else? Yeah, exactly. And I went to him like a month ago, and I remember, I guess, him giving me a massage on my knee, or whatever you want to call it. Like a session. Yeah. And I felt my knee. I wouldn't say better, but like it felt different. I felt like I had some blood flow in my knee, almost as if like it was like sore from using it so much or something like that.
After the first try.
Yeah, after the first session. Yeah. And then I think in like 2 weeks after that, I was feeling a little bit better and things like that. And I remember coming down some steps really quickly, and I just like put my weight on my leg wrong or something like that, and like my heel got stuck like on a step, and I put all my weight on my body, and like my foot was inclined like that, and I felt like another like pop in my knee. Oh, I felt like a little pop, and
you didn't even have to be playing sports. You was just walking down the stairs.
Man, I felt like such an old person. I'm like, why is this happening to me right now? And I went to him, I think a week after that. Like, I think I waited too long, and he popped my whatever thing had come out of there like back into place. And. He told me that it popped out, or whatever it was that like had popped out of place. He said that like some of my liquid was leaking or something like that. I really don't know
You know, sobadores are a magical thing because even my mom recounts her experience with a sobador because she once also fell on her knee, and again she doesn't remember the name of the sobador or huesero, but she always is grateful to him that sobador, he went to him once, and kind of like in an act of magic, just rubbed like the surrounding area of where it was hurting. Like just rubbed it, just like with his hands, like nothing else, just un poquito de, what's that? What's that pomada del tigre?
Oh yeah,
A little bit of that maybe.
it's like Mexican icy hot.
Yeah. And she said she recounts like, oh, he just kind of like she just like kind of like hovered around my knee with his hands, and like she's like, okay, he's like, okay, you're never gonna feel knee pain again. And she said she didn't feel it, and she was like living through that pain for almost like 3 months. She says like she didn't know what to do. She didn't have the means to go to the hospital. Obviously, like how are you gonna if knee consultations were that expensive today? Imagine how much it would have cost our parents. Even if it was $100, she couldn't have ever afforded. She was making $150 a week. So how's her money gonna go there?
Right.
Again, sometimes I think that. Not that people don't want to heal correctly. It's just that they also can't afford it. It's hard. Healthcare is still part of those physical injuries that you keep because you can't pay for them.
Right.
So like sobadores, hueseros are always like an option of like, okay, I don't have to pay really expensive fees, so that's like I'll believe in this person that they can heal me, and I think believing in them that they can heal you has a lot of power too. Like that's just kind of like it's captured in your mind, because how is he gonna heal knee pain that my mom has been going through for months, and just because he rubbed it, tapped it, and said, okay, you're never gonna feel knee pain again? How's he gonna fix that? And my mom said she didn't feel knee pain again, like. Like she feels normal knee pain, but that's because she works. That's because she walks. But back then, she, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Believing when you go to one of these people that's a Salvador Huesero, you have to believe that it's gonna work, and you can't even go like as a joke, like, nah, I don't believe it, but let's just see if it works because it's not gonna work.
Yeah,
it's weird. You have to put trust in it. You have to have faith.
Yeah.
That whatever they're doing to you is gonna, fix the problem.
Yeah, because like in the process you'll find out that it works, but you also have to go beforehand like with the mind of like, okay, this is my physical therapist or this is my chiropractor. He's gonna pull something and I'm gonna be healed. Yeah. Because again, I had that same experience too. I've always had knee pain, so that's why kind of like when you brought it up, I was like, you're just being dramatic because like I've lived with it all my life. But what if I've been living with injury my whole like these past 8 years, and that's only going to get worse.
Right.
And I actually only came into consideration when you kind of went through the motions. I'm like, well, you know what? Like, never mind. Let me try to do the same exercises as you, because I'm pretty sure that we might be going through the same things. I don't know. And nor do I really want to, like, go to a doctor and for him to like kind of fill me with those ideas of like, oh, you have this, you have this, you have this, you have this. Because again, if you think you're good, if you feel like you're good, like you're gonna feel that you're good too. Like obviously don't like if you feel extreme amount of pain, then go to the doctor. But I've had so much experience with that at one point also too that I think I remember my first injury was going for a header. And whenever I went for the header, someone pushed my feet, and it's kind of like my feet went forward into the air, and I just fell on my back. But I fell on my back, and my air wasn't like gone. It was kind of like I hurt my back, but then like I felt it across my knee to where I couldn't walk. So I was like, how am I gonna fall on my back and I feel it on my knee? Like it's so weird. And so ever since then, my problem started because. At one point, I couldn't even walk. Like, I couldn't even stand up straight. I had a cane to walk in school. I remember I was in middle school. And my mom was like, okay, she's like, you don't have insurance. Or we don't, like, again, I wasn't born here. I wasn't born here, so I don't have Medicare. I don't have any type of healthcare plan. So I was also worried because I'm like, damn, how the fuck am I gonna play? Because like at that point, I'm like, I want to play. I don't want to stop playing. My mom was like, okay, I'm gonna take you to Salvador. I was like, okay, like good, because like at that point I was like, I couldn't get out of bed. Like it was just really tough. Like literally, I couldn't even stand up straight.
I don't even remember that.
Dude, I was like an old man. Like I went like this, and I couldn't put a, like, it's kind of like when you have a what's it called? Not that you break your arm. What's it called? You dislocate your arm or your shoulder. It's like kind of like you can't go like this.
Right.
So I kind of felt like a limitation also with my back. I couldn't stand up straight.
Right. Okay.
It was so weird. And so when my mom was like, "Okay, we're going to El Salvador," I mean, I had been to El Salvador and I have experienced dislocating my arm and stuff like that, but my back, or to the point where I couldn't even walk, I had never experienced that. So like, I kind of got really sad about it. But dude, one session with him, he put my leg like this behind me, like he just
like crossed them.
Yeah, he's like, okay, he's like, you're ready. He just pressed him against my back, and I was like, oh. Like, it hurt a lot. But after that, as soon as I got up, I could stand up straight. And again, I didn't have that major of pain anymore. Do I still have knee pain? Yes, but not to the point where it was like crippling me, like I couldn't stand up straight. And so that's why I'm like, okay, Salvadores have something. Like, you have to believe it. And they also themselves, I think they're kind of like chosen too. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, they have like a gift, or they figure out that they had a gift.
Like, to heal people. Because not just anyone can heal you.
Yeah. And I guess this is just us telling our personal experience. We're not giving anybody
any medical advice, none of that.
Advice. Yeah, no, definitely not. You know, everybody chooses to do what they want, I guess, when it comes to like health issues.
This is poverty Medicare, so if you're listening.
Yeah. And like this is the route that I chose to go, you know, like my knee right now, if I wanted to, I feel like I could go run, I could go, you know, do whatever, but I know that my knee isn't fully healed, so I just don't want to do that, you know. And I've gone to the Salvador recently, and he told me that my knee's good, just that I just need to give it, you know, time as well. And you know, let it heal in the position that it's in right now.
And I think you're doing good by cycling, and because running is one of those activities that
put stress on your knees.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
a lot. And cycling is the second best option that doesn't put that much stress on your knees, and you can still get your cardio in.
The elliptical is also another good one.
The elliptical too? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, and man, this is for anyone that, I mean, is suffering through knee pain or even through back pain, because it's not normal for individuals. Like, you know how they make memes on like, oh, my back hurts or stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm
like,
20 years old and I feel like my back is 60 or something.
Yeah, and I think it's important to take into consideration a routine more than anything, because you're not going to fix it in a day, you're not going to fix it in a year, but you're going to fix it through habits. You're going to fix it through consistency, because kind of like what I've seen you go through, it's kind of like, is the blood flow going properly through your knee? You know, are you using it? How are you using it?
Yeah.
Because even like McGregor or all those guys that like are athletes too, like crazy athletes, they're always like, hey, like when you wake up, your body is stiff. Like, it's been in one position, so like
for a few hours.
Yeah, so it's not gonna know how to like. You're not, unless you're a 15-year-old, you know, you don't have that
dexterity
movement. Yeah, that range of movement with your legs, with your arms. Like, the body keeps on stiffening as you get older. And
yeah, that's what's crazy. I mean, if I could recommend one thing to everybody, it's just mobility stuff.
Mobility, you know?
Yeah, like if you don't work out, if you don't do any of this stuff, just like stretch your hips, stretch your knees, your arms, shoulders, you know, do like back stretches and things like that. I think that's the number one thing as you get older.
It will definitely, they say that prevention is the best medicine. And I think that we rarely talk about the effects about sitting on a couch, like even something that simple, like
Mm-hmm.
can be very damaging because you're sitting on a couch for long periods of time. And if that has become normalized, then a lot of other things that are going to harm us in the future are going to become being normalized, because back pain isn't normal, knee pain isn't normal for a 20-year-old. Like you should, sure, you're going to feel it sometimes because you're using it, but you're going to feel the soreness, the tenderness. But let's not make it a norm of us being and living hurt.
Yeah, in pain.
Because then medicine takes over us. I mean, if we couldn't imagine, we couldn't afford those $400 consultations. Imagine we couldn't afford those MRIs to try to figure out what kind of like wrong with you. Some people go through that. Some people can't pay their bills, their medical bills to try to get better. So I mean, more than anything, I guess, try to use the internet to your benefit,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good information out there. But I guess, like I said, this is advice. I mean, this is just us telling our own experiences, isn't like advice. If people choose to take it, then, I hope the best for them.
Yeah, I just hope it helps anyone listening to it. I always think that, I guess in this case, I also learned a lot, because at first, again, I thought you were being dramatic, but I think you've taken a really, really good route that's going to give you that longevity to use your knee.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do it like me and just wear it out, you're not really going to have much left for reserves when you're older, or when I'm older. It's just going to... I want to be good when I'm 60. I want to be good when I'm 70. And not only going through the movement, but I think next time we'll also talk about my experience about going through chest pains, and kind of like how that shaped how I looked at health, how I looked at what I eat. Because, I mean, I'm just like any other normal guy, right? Like, I love soda. I like drinking it. But is it really good for me? No, it's not really good fuel for you. And so not only going through the motions of you having a consistent workout for your knees, for just movement in itself, but also being with people that love you, being with people that care about you, like the video was saying, and most importantly, what you eat. Like, and we'll go
into depth if people want to hear, maybe.
Yeah, and into our experience, because the experience with Dr. Brad, it's still going. I think we've only been at it for a good 2 months. But he said it was going to be like from a 6-month to 1 year process of us healing our gut. And Hippocrates says, and is very famous because he's noted for saying that illness starts from the gut. And we'll go more into depth.
Yeah.
In a later episode.
And if people want to hear it, or if you want to know who Dr. Brad is, we actually have an episode on the pod. I'm not sure what episode number it is.
Me neither.
But I guess we can link it below if people want to watch that.
Yeah, but this is Gio's experience. This is our experience of kind of like going through those physical limitations, those injuries.
Yeah.
And how we're in the process of healing. It's not going to take a day. It's not going to take a year. It's going to just take us living certain lifestyles, adopting certain habits in order for us to live a healthier life.
Yeah, again, I feel like from our experiences, we also have a younger brother who's like getting into soccer more than anything right now. So, me going through that experience, like, I'm going to be able to help him avoid whatever I'm going through right now, because I can't even imagine what it's like being like semi-pro, like athlete about to go into pro, and then maybe facing an injury like that.
Dude, that's devastating.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what that's like. And I have nothing to play for, and like I'm almost like.
And I'm saying it now. I think Johnny's gonna be good enough to get a scholarship, which we want, and if he goes further, that's up to him. Again, that's how to see how committed he is. But
yeah,
I think it's also very important for us to talk about it, because then you get to set up the next generation. Like him. We didn't have us older brothers when we were younger to tell us, like, okay, at 12 years old, you're going to go to this many practices. You need to focus on this style of gameplay. more for vision, pass, technical ability. And also recovery.
Yeah, recovery is super important. Just right before we end the episode or whatever. One thing that sticks with me about Dragon Ball Z is that when Goku's training Gohan in the hyperbolic time chamber, they take like a 1 day, I think, where they rest.
Mm-hmm.
And Gohan's like, Dad, I thought we came here to work. I thought we were going to be training the entire time with no breaks. He's like, well, you see, he was like, that's like a misconception. He's like, you have to give your body a break and you have to let it recover, just as much as you make it work. Because otherwise you're just going to be facing, setbacks because you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
So, hey, even Goku said it.
Yeah, because, and that's a hard concept for me because, and maybe we'll talk about it next time. Just because I love feeling, the pain, I guess, of the workout, that I limit myself to not giving my body that time to rest. If I rested it becomes stronger.
It would work for you.
More durable.
Yep.
So, guys, if you guys stayed this long, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'll try to put we do the video editing, so it's very simple again. So if there's a video out there that does want to support us or wants to reach out to me, has his own ideas, and just let me know. Just because I feel like whenever we try to hire a videographer, they always are like, oh, we're gonna copy this person or we're gonna do this, and I like shopping for other artists' ideas, but I think that we try to keep it as original as we can to us. So if there's anyone out there, just let me know. I'll try to put the link in the description of the videos that we talk about, the recovery plans that we did find, that Gio found. I didn't find it. Gio found it. Just because, again, he's really good whenever he kind of obsesses over something. Like, he's like, oh, look, I found this better plan. So I think those things will lead to recovery. We still don't know. Again, this is just our experience. It isn't proven advice.
Yeah, and it's like a partial experience even at that, because I haven't gone through it for a whole year and then see how I feel after.
So, just kind of want to share a little bit about what happens to my brother and what he's kind of been battling through. But
a little story time.
Yeah. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Make sure you guys, again, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys like the video, whether we do this or not. But I think me and my brother are going to do more series of conversations like this. Sometimes it becomes awkward just because we're not used to it. But me and my brother are always having maybe not interesting conversations, but very in depth about kind of like how we want to manage our life, how we see ourselves, what we want to do for other people, how we can basically lock into life, because it's really hard. I honestly find it very hard if you're alone and don't have a brother, because with a brother, I feel like it's a lot easier.
It's like strength in numbers.
Yeah, you have someone to back up on. And even with our little brother, I think the way that our dad taught us, it's kind of like, okay, you both are going to set the example for your little brother. I think that little kids are always going to follow example. So try to be the best brother out there, best big sister, best whatever you try to do, try to be the best at it. So we'll catch you guys in the next one. Gio, catch you in the next one.
All right, man.
All right.
We'll see you.